Hi, my name is Tara Jensen, and I'm the Program Manager at Loudon Habitat for Humanity. Today, I am delighted to be here with Finished for Good's Amy Taylor for our 4th episode in the Loudon Habitat's Tools for Life Learning Center virtual workshop series. We are talking with Amy about keeping furniture out of the landfills with its repurpose, refinish, reuse, keeping furniture out of the landfills. We've invited her here in honor of the 50th Earth Day. So, the Earth Day. Amy, thank you for being here and taking some time with us today.
Thanks for having me, Tara.
Absolutely. For those joining us in the comfort of your own home, thank you for tuning in. Amy is here talking about the inspirational work she does with Finished for Good, like I said, keeping furniture out of the landfills, and how she supports our Loudon Restore. We'll answer some questions. And then we will answer some questions from our viewers. So if you do have questions for Amy, please type them into Zoom's chat or Q&A function, and we'll get to as many as we have time for. Amy, with that, let's get started. What is Finished for Good, and what was your inspiration for founding it?
Well, Finished for Good is not a company. It's not a nonprofit either. I like to think of it as a community initiative where we work to keep perfectly usable furniture out of the landfill. We then breathe new life into it. That might be repainting or fixing it or staining it, and then giving it to Habitat so that they can sell through the Restore and make some funds to further their mission. Sort of a win-win-win, if you'd like. As to inspiration, I enjoy refinishing. It's something that I hadn't done for a while, and when I started up again, I realized just how much I missed it, that sort of creative aspect to life. And but of course, when you refinish, you either sell your products or you have a house full of stuff, right? So I thought, okay, what if I do refinish again? You know, how can I use it to benefit others? And I sort of chewed on that for a while. And then, of course, I don't know about your neighborhood, but often on trash day, I see tons of like end tables and dressers out by the curb. And I kind of thought, you know what, somebody can use that. Somebody should do something about that. And it all kind of came together. I said, okay, well, maybe that somebody is me.
Is you. That's amazing. And it's great that you do that. So you said you get the furniture from obviously the curbside. Are there areas? And where do you get your supplies? And how do you select the pieces? Are there certain pieces that you won't touch or?
Well, I try to go for things that the Restore will take, so that Habitat has a nice convenient list on the website of things that you accept and you don't accept. So I won't accept anything you don't accept because it goes directly to you. I try to take wooden pieces, so nothing with upholstery at this time. And I try to take things that are in fairly good condition. I don't have a lot of repair know-how, so it's got to be something that takes minor fixing. Now, when it comes to staining and painting, I think I can cover and fix a multitude of sins there. But I usually look for something that'll fit in the back of my car, something that'll fit in my garage, because I just do it right out of my garage workshop, and something that I feel like somebody would want to buy.
That's great.
Yeah. Now, as to my supplies, I buy the supplies myself. I don't buy any furniture. It's either donated to me. Like you said, I find it by the side of the road or a dumpster, or someone hears about what I do and wants to give it to me. Supplies I do buy myself. I have a couple of donations there, people that are looking to offload some paint or stain, that I'm happy to take those donations as well.
That's great. So what is the general process of taking something from trash to donation? So from start to finish?
Usually when I find something, I clean it first, and depending on where I get it, especially.
Yes.
So once it's clean, it gives me a good chance to look it over, see what kind of repairs, also to see what it's made of, and that sort of helps to dictate what I'm going to do with it. If it's something that's pure wood, I personally like to keep it so the wood is showing. I don't like to paint over any type of quality wood. So I will strip it down with a chemical stripper. I'll sand it good, and I will restain it and then top coat it so it's in good shape for whoever is the next owner. If I have a piece that maybe is particle board or is mixed wood or maybe has some dents or scratches that I just can't fix, then I do paint it. And that's a pretty straightforward process of just, cleaning it up, sanding it, and then giving a new coat of paint and some protective layers on top.
Yeah, that's great. And I've seen some of your work and you do a fabulous job. So
thank you.
Keep going. What's your favorite transformation so far?
So my favorite transformation was a table that I named Arthur. It was a massive table. I was cooking dinner one evening and a friend texted me that there was a beautiful table, a large table out on the curb. And it was nighttime. So it was the night before trash pickup and it had just started to rain. So she said, there's a table. I think it looks good. You might want to get it. My husband went out, picked it up for me, put it in the back of the car, brought it home. Of course, it was dark. We couldn't quite see it. I thought, oh, I'm not quite sure if it's any good. Looked at it the next day. It was dark, and the table was dark, and it was solid, but you're really not quite sure what you're going to do with this massive thing. And I probably bumped my shins on it a million times working around it.
Battle wounds.
Yeah, exactly. But when I finally got around to it and I stripped that top layer of dark varnish off, it had a beautiful, beautiful wood grain underneath. And it was probably, if you judge by social media, it's probably the most popular piece that I've done, and people contacted me and wanted to buy it. It was just, that's sort of the epitome of what Finish for Good is. Here's something that was sitting out in the trash. Somebody didn't want it, so they just dumped it. And I took something that was going to go in the back of a truck, and hopefully Restore made a good deal of money off of it. It was a lot of fun doing it once I got around to it.
That's great. Yeah, one man's trash is another woman's treasure, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So how many pieces have you refinished and donated? And I think you do it in cubic feet, right? So
I do. Yeah, I measure everything as it comes in, just because it's kind of inspirational to think about how many cubic feet we're hopefully keeping out of the landfill. I have turned over 12 pieces so far, and that equates to 94 cubic feet. We're getting close to 100. And
that's a lot when you're talking sanding and
it is, yeah. And this is over a period of 6 months, so not a lot of time has gone by. And I've got 4 more pieces in the garage that I'm working on right now.
Great, excellent. I can't wait to see more. So what are you currently working on?
Well, I've got someone very kindly donated an old secretary desk from the 1940s, I believe. It's beautiful. And I'm going to try to restore it right so that it's done as close to the original as possible. And I'm hoping to walk some of my visitors on social media through the whole process of doing something and trying to keep it as authentic as possible. I've seen a lot of people take these old desks and they slap some paint on it. And that's fine, no judgment there, but I really want to try to restore it to the original because I think then Restore can turn it over and make a pretty penny from it.
Absolutely.
So a secretary desk, I've got a couple of end tables that I'm trying to decide what to do with now. And then I've got a bookcase that looked to be just a plain Jane basic bookcase, but I took the finish off and it's really got some pretty grain underneath. I have had to replace parts of it. And it will have a little bit of paint on it, but mostly the case is going to be stained. I think it's going to turn out nice.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it. So how can others get involved with Finished for Good? And can we get more information?
I would love for other people to get involved. If it's just me working in my garage, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I've got a job, I've got other things that I work on. I'm going to only be able to turn over so much. Right. But if there are other people out there that want to join, I'd love to have you. There's no commitment. If you want to do a piece a month, if you want to do a piece a year, any little bit helps. Maybe you do upholstery and you can offer your services to me if I get a piece that I need help with. Maybe you do caning. Or, I have had a gentleman reach out and say that he does repair. So if I've got something that's a little bit more difficult for me to repair, I can contact him and I don't have to necessarily turn away pieces that are beyond my repair ability. Right. So any type of help like that is fantastic. There are professionals I know that do this and they sell it. If they want to contribute, I'm happy to give them a shout out from the Facebook page or the Instagram page. And we can highlight what they've done. I'm not a professional by any means, but some people do a really, really good job of turning this stuff over. But other ways people can help is just to spread the message. I think there's a perception that it's very difficult to donate furniture. And maybe that's why people sort of put it on the curb because they think, well, I don't know what else to do with it. I don't know who will pick it up. Or maybe they think,
who would want it?
Who would want it?
Want this, right?
Yeah. So spreading the word that even if you have a piece that you think is not in good enough condition to donate, most likely it is. If it's not, we can do something about it so that it will be something that someone will buy and Restore will reap the benefits.
Absolutely. So can you tell me just a little bit more about the Restore and how did you find the Restore? I'm just kind of curious now. How did you find the Restore and make that as your choice of the donation?
Well, I've always loved Habitat's mission. And I think now more than ever, you sort of get the message when we're all confined to home. I feel very blessed that I have a good house to be confined to. So many people do not, right? And so the mission of being able to provide decent housing for everybody is important. I've always loved the Habitat mission. So when I came up with the idea of, okay, who can benefit from this? I first thought of Habitat, but when I looked at the Restore website, right there on the website, one of their main goals is to keep furniture out of the landfill, which is exactly what I'm trying to do. So I just thought, yep, these are the people I need to be talking to. And I emailed and thinking, well, they may not like the idea, they might like it. And I got an email right back going, oh, let's do this.
Absolutely. No, I think that both of the missions are in line, and
yeah,
partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think, the Restore, anyone that's interested in refinishing, if you ever want to try it, the Restore is a great place to get a project piece. You can get some brand new pieces that you pick up and you put in your home and they're good to go. You can also just get some, if you want to play around, you can get some good pieces and say that would look good if I just had different color, or if I did this to it, and it's great to pick up those project pieces from the Restore too.
Absolutely. And I think as you're starting out, for those that we're going to try to encourage to start out and do this, it's good to practice.
Absolutely.
Some pieces that you can practice on, because I'm an expert at, your first try.
Right. And don't be too squeamish about it, because a lot of the, if you're doing something with paints, a lot of the paints they make very user-friendly nowadays. So, play around with it. It's okay to make a mistake. And I've made several. One of the things that we just donated to the Restore was a blue table, and it's blue because I made a mistake on it. But you know what? It's a pretty shade of blue, and I hope it graces somebody's house and brings them a lot of happiness.
Absolutely. And that's the table that you just donated.
That's right.
Okay. So actually I have them pulled up on my page, and I just want to touch on this, if we can, show what Amy has just donated to the Restore. I'm going to share that with everyone. Okay, let me see. Let's take a look. So this is on our Restore virtual shop. This is item number 107, the coffee table that Amy has just refinished and donated to the Restore. It's beautiful. And the blue table I think you were mentioning is right here next to it.
Yep.
This is it, number 106.
Yep. So the blue table was actually found beside a dumpster. I don't know if you've ever been part of a community that has a dumpster where people want to throw something, they want to get rid of something, but they don't want to throw it away. So they'll put it beside the dumpster and they'll go, I know somebody can use this. Well, that's how this blue table came about. Someone knew that someone else could use it. They didn't have the heart to chuck it right in the dumpster. But they put it beside knowing that somebody could use it. And I hope somebody can.
Yeah. And thank goodness that they did, because it turned out to be a beautiful piece. And the color of Habitat. So that's great too.
Ah, there we go.
Yes. So let me see if we have some other inspired Finish for Good fans who had some questions. Oh, we've got Tony Holland from the UK. Thank you so much for joining us from there. Does anyone have any questions for Amy? Let's see. I don't think that we have any coming in. We're all good. Amy, thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely.
It has been such an inspirational movement that you have here for Habitat. And I do appreciate your time. And as a fellow furniture refinisher, I have been so inspired as to what other options I can do with my projects, because like you said at the beginning, you start to get a very full house of completed projects you don't know what to do with. So
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. We'll have to have you join us there, Tara.
I know, I'm on board. So I also wanted to mention that Amy's pieces that she just donated are on the virtual store at loudounrestore.org, and you can find them there. Or I think they might be on Facebook as well. So With that said, on behalf of the Tools for Life workshop series by Loudon Habitat for Humanity, an extension of our Tools for Life Learning Center, these workshops are exclusively to Habitat. They're free of charge and open to the public. You can check out the past workshops and upcoming workshops at loudonhabitat.org. And we invite you to come next week for a Healthy Home Indoor Solutions for Sheltering in Place. And we look forward to seeing you then.